If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. So we have been here at the North Rim Grand Canyon for 8 days. We are not, and I've said this in other videos, we are not at the North Rim. The North Rim is in the Grand Canyon National Park. It's part of the national park. We are in the National Forest. The National Park is inside the National Forest. And I was confused by all this also. I didn't understand how all this worked, but it's really not complicated once you really start studying the map. The North Rim is just about 4 miles to the other side of that hill there. But it's in the National Park. And the National Park costs $35 in order to gain entry for 7 days. You can go in there for 7 days. So it's $35 per vehicle for 7 days. Then you can go to the South Rim. I think it's about 20 miles from here, straight across. As a matter of fact, you can hike from the North Rim, just over here, to the South Rim. The big key is in order to get down to the South Rim, you have to circle all the way around the canyon. And that's a 200-mile trip. So I got to go north about 40 miles and then east and then south to the South Rim. As curvy and windy as these roads are, Google Maps says it takes about 4 hours to get there. So the other day on the live feed, somebody thought I should have spent the $35 to go and see the South Rim Grand Canyon. Now, the South Rim is where most of the tourist attraction is. That's where most everybody goes. Very few people come up to the North Rim because the further north you get, the less resources there are. It's 120 miles, for example, to get to the Walmart. There's a small town called Friona. I think it's 70 miles to Friona. So to get water or anything, it's just a real hassle. Now, a lot of vacationers don't have the kind of time it takes to dedicate getting the resources they need or the experience to stay out here to be able to do the North Rim. Now, there's a couple paid campgrounds that you can stay at, $20 a night. So, I mean, it's kind of expensive there. And again, it's not near resources. So even though you're spending $20 to stay at the campground, you may spend $100 just trying to get some groceries or whatever you need. A couple things about the differences between North Rim and South Rim is North Rim is at like 7,900 feet in elevation, and the South Rim is at like 5,500 feet, something like that. We are not in the North Rim. We are north of the North Rim. In order to get here, we had to travel about 35 miles on gravel roads. It's 14 miles on gravel road, as a matter of fact, to get to this spot. And we are even higher than the North Rim. We're at 8,800 feet. Carolyn and I spent a long time wanting to come to this exact location, not going and spending all the money and doing the tourist activity. That's just not what we do. Now, a few things. Why we're not going to go to the South Rim or the North Rim. The North Rim, I guess we could go to, but we're just not going to spend the $35 to go there for a few minutes and leave. That's all it is. I mean, there's a general store there, and there's an overlook. So we would spend the $35 to go and look at something that we can already pretty much see from our window. We sit next to the edge of this canyon from minute to minute. Colors are changing. Yesterday it rained for a little bit and it changed everything here. It was beautiful. It's just completely different change. So in order to get to the South Rim, where everybody said that we should go in the live feed that I held the other day, like I said, it's 200 miles. So in order to get there, we'd have to spend 4 hours to get down there. And I feel like we'd be like Clark Griswold in National Lampoon Vacation. We'd, okay, let's go, because we'd have to come back up here, and I'll explain why. So that would be 4 hours down there, 4 hours back, so a total of 8 hours just on the road. And I calculated how much that would cost. It would cost us $73, $75 to get down there and back. And the reason we would have to come back is because it's like 105 degrees down there. It's 78 degrees here. That's how big of a difference is between elevation. So we'll go down there 3,000 feet and we're going to be cooking. We come up here, it's a beautiful day. I've been sitting outside all day, sweating, Don't need an air conditioner. We don't have an air conditioner. So our options are, to go down there real quick, spend the $35, check it out, and then come straight back. Or go down there, check it out for 4 or 5 hours, and then then we'd have to go rent a campground. Well, the problem with renting a campground is it's hot and we don't have an air conditioner. So that means we would have to go get a hotel room. So it's not what everybody was saying in the live feed, that it's only $35. What's the big deal? The trip to get 20 miles over there would probably cost us nearly $300. Why do that when I get this all day long, all night long? As a matter of fact, at nighttime, I can see the lights from the south rim. It's all lit up. Now, there's a few more reasons why we don't want to go to national parks. Of course, they charge. But when we were in Virginia, they have 2 skyline type of drives. They have Blue Ridge Parkway, and then they have the Shenandoah Skyline Drive. We were in southern Virginia, in the Thomas Jefferson National Forest, and we went to the Blue Ridge, and we spent all day at the Blue Ridge. It was free. Had the best time. Well, then we went north, and we went to the George Washington National Forest, and we decided that we were going to go do the Shenandoah Skyline Drive. But Skyline, I think, cost $20, $20 or $30, I don't remember, but it cost some money. So we spent the money and went in there. Well, when we got to the top, it was cloudy. Well, if you know anything about being in the mountains, when it's cloudy, it's foggy. We didn't get to go. Well, now there is a 7-day rain check that you can have on it. And so we left, and then we came back on the last day, the 7 days. So now we've spent all this money. I can't tell you how far a drive. I think it was like 60 miles to get from one side, from our campground to the Skyline Drive. So, 120 miles the first day was a bust. Then the second day we went, and we got there, and we just weren't impressed with it. I mean, the Blue Ridge was so much prettier. We really enjoyed it. Being able to wake up to this every morning without rushing around and spending, $300 or $400 to go do all the tourist activities, this is quite relaxing and enjoyable. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.